Well, hi, my name is Susan. I'm introducing the blog post because I want to make sure that whoever intercepts transverse or words that I've been learning in the last couple of days fascinating. Sometimes I'm like, you know so much, and yes, so many words you just don't know yet. But um, and the reason why I wanted to give a little bit of an introduction to how to even navigate the actual blog post is because and I have some notes on the side. Obviously, you can see in there, and plus you can also see that I'm looking on the side, so I'm not even gonna try and hide from it. Because I was like, what do I wanna put in the introduction? What would I put? And I'm sharing this as well, just so that you can understand the level of not just mind navigation, but also the ways in which I want you to, if you're here and you're listening to this and you're thinking of going further and actually reading through the content of the blog post itself, I want to be able to build a context, preface, prepare you more than anything for the triggering that's to come. And the reason why I use the word triggering is because I know for a fact that the contents that you'll find, or at least parts of the content that you'll find, will be triggering, because triggers are only things that haven't been necessarily contemplated just yet, being put in front of us, and it triggers us because basically it triggers an ignition, right? If there's something there to be ignited because it's been looked at, processed, thought of, questioned, whatever, you get the point. It becomes a seed, and it's there for whoever is able to splash some water on it. Right now, you'll have two different types of triggers. There's a trigger that replenishes you, that actually allows you to dive in your mind and to come to your own integration, information, or upgrade that you would have needed to go through at this current moment in time, because everything happens for a reason. Everything happens exactly when it happens. Whether let's say that someone near, you have a conversation with someone, and it just triggers something in you, and it just ignites you. Whatever energy, word, sentence they used to that ignited something within you that needed to come out, is also the universe just telling you this is when you are going to be triggered. Because when we look at life through the lenses of the soul, and we look at life through the understanding of our consciousness evolution, we understand that the universe in which we live in continuously grows, continuously expands, and we know that from what's it called? It's not astrology, astronomy. And our minds is the same. Now, I find funny when people say you've changed, because in my head it's like, I'm sorry, isn't that what we're supposed to do? Like, isn't like, I don't know when we started looking at change as a fault, a lack, or something that's to be feared, or something that's to be controlled or capped, or whatever, because we fear change. And let's break that down, because many people stop at that, but fear of change, said like that in a sentence, is really just the tip of the iceberg, right? Now, I've gotten myself to a point where any iceberg, any tip of the iceberg, I can also instantaneously also look at the bottom of the iceberg, just because, and I'll explain later the different types of beings, but just because I've gotten myself to a place where I'm frequency at a 12-dimensional beingness, which means just being sovereign and having self-mastered yourself on all different planes of existence. And there's only 3 planes. I used to think that there was 4 because I counted the spirit as a plane, and you'll see in the blog post where I talk about spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical. But really and truly, we are the spirit. We are that being projected into the 3D through the physical, mental, and emotional. Now, the physical, obviously, it's what you see, matter, flesh, bones, calcium. Oh my god. I could use so many. Anything that it's in relation to the 4 elements of Earth, basically. Water. You have water. Which is liquid. You have matter, which is solid, earth, land, call it whatever, and then you have hot and cold, which are represented by fire and air. Air, because air on its own is cold. When you add fire to the air, that's when it becomes warm, right? The sun, like right now, I mean, to be fair, if I was to show you the weather, it's London, you can imagine what color it is. But right now the air is cold because there's the rays, the flares of the sun are being dampered, one of those, you understand what I'm trying to say there, by the clouds, and that makes so that the air isn't necessarily hot. Right now, I digress, but the purpose of what I was trying to say there is that in the physical realm you have those 4 elements, and then in the mental realm you have the conscious and subconscious, and I'll dissect into that as well, because it's really important that we understand how self-mastery comes from the union of conscious and subconscious to a level where I'm going to add one thing first. Your subconscious, if unaligned with your conscious mind, becomes what was I trying to say? I know what I'm trying to say here, but it's the words. Your conscious mind is the one that you actively think with, the one that you actively interact with on a daily basis, the one that you engage. It's the one that allows you to have the free will, the fake experience of having control over our experience. And the reason why I put it that way is because our soul really has already experienced everything that we've done. It's going backwards in time, holding the hand to the human, which means that there's something in there as well, which means that if we get to a place where we merge the two, we free ourselves from the conditioning of the outside. And the reason why is because the outside is only a reflection of your inside, and the inside is really and truly the subconscious, the program that's in the subconscious itself. If the program is contaminated by outside projections, or outside perceptions, or outside conditionings of society, our parents, and all of that fluff, then your subconscious is split from your conscious mind, because the two are not merged as one. They're not sovereign. Sovereignty only comes from the merger of those two in terms of mental state. Physical, obviously, comes from the merger of the understanding that you are a soul walking on earth and living by that. That's 5D living. But when it comes to the mental, well, 5D living is actually understanding how the two polarity comes into play, both on a physical, on a mental and emotional level, and allowing the space for that to collide with itself, because because that's how you master those different planes of existence, and that's where you develop the harmony to hold the polarity of the two, which means that you can contradict yourself without feeling any less. I could say today I want to become something, or I want to do something, and tomorrow I say the opposite. Or I could say, I think I don't know what example, whatever it is, just you understand. Like, you can use any example. Again, I'm here to introduce to the blog post, not to necessarily do the whole thing. But when it comes to self-mastery, and the reason why this blog post is really important is because it's, and I'm going to look at my notes here, because that was the introduction that I was supposed to start with, but who fucking cares? The message is the message, and the message withstands time and structure. Yeah, time and structure. So this blog post is a living transmission, a mirror, a timeline breadcrumb for souls ready to remember. And the reason why living transmission, because it's something that every time that you get back to it, everything is alive. Let's start from that. Everything is alive. We like to think that things are dead. We like to think that things are static. We like to think that things don't change, even in the tangible. But they do. Like, this mic is not how it was before, right? It's a bit of dust there. I don't use it often. I don't use it at all, really. It's not how it looks how it used to look. But at the same time, the moment it was created, by the time it got to my home, it was already different. Because of the conditioning, because of the air around it. Like, if we were to look, if we understand that everything, the micro is in the micro, the when you look at, for example, quantum physics, you have the quarks, and quarks is just the wavelength of energy, right? Now, if you take that concept and you put it into air, now every air has different components, right? The air in my room is different from the air outside. Now, even if I have the windows open, and the air that's outside is different from the air that's in the factory where this was built, right? So there was different environmental conditionings that happen to this, and at every different stage something changes its own frequency. Same thing with this living transmission, because you read it the first time, you see something and it triggers something. You read it the second time, it triggers something else. You go through it the third time, it triggers something even deeper. And that's because that's life, that's the universe, right? It's going through the stages of that iceberg. If I like that analogy, so I'm gonna keep that. A mirror, because I'm mirroring your highest potential. Just like I can see the highest potential in you. It doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter where you are, it doesn't matter whether we met or not. We all mirror some sort of higher potential in each other, right? My higher potential might be the higher potential that I show to you, might just be like thoughts, like ways of thinking, emotional intelligence, the ways in which I portray. There is the ways in which I express myself, the ways in which I am, and again, you're not going to be able to understand who I am in this video, and that's completely fine. That's not the goal. I'm not here to introduce myself. I'm here to introduce the blog post and the ways for you to navigate it, by giving you also the context of the energies that was infused into this blog post itself. But we are all mirrors to each other until we become sovereign. And the reason why I said I'm the mirror of your highest potential is just because I'm living and experiencing life from a 12-dimensional perspective of existence, through the 5D in the 3D. Beautiful. And the been doing some sewing today. And I was saying something. I was gonna go somewhere so fucking cool, but it'll come if it needs to come. Oh yes, mirror. I'm the mirror of you, but you're not the mirror of me anymore, and that's just because of where I am. No one else can mirror me just because no one else can fully understand me, and I'm really okay with that. At this point, it's a honor, and that's just because I'm not here to be understood. I'm here to pave a way. I'm here to show a way for people to be. I'm here to show a blueprint. I'm here to ignite people. I'm here to inspire people. I'm here to support people in their own ascension. And the reason why is because I've ascended myself to this place. I had gone myself to a point where I could have easily gone. My purpose would have been accomplished, actualized, everything done, right? But I chose to stay because I chose to descend. I was an ascending master until I became an ascended master, and I had the choice to ascend to higher planes, which is not physical. So that means, from the lenses of a human being, death, but really truly it's just transmission, transformation into a different level of existence and being. Would have been sitting there next to God, but I didn't feel like my mission was finished. And the reason why is because just leaving a seed and not being there to nurture it doesn't do justice to that seed. It's like when we make kids and we're not there to nurture them. We understand the process now. We know that the wrong nurture, truth and harmony will destabilize one's foundation, because nurture comes through the three different planes of physical, emotional, and mental. If someone doesn't have a structured whole understanding of those three, it's going to be different for them to even be in 3D fully, wholly. Let alone even think of going to 12D. I mean, but when you get to that state, you just continuously go through 3 cycles. One is the void, which is the beginning of anything, and 0 point of creation is 0 point of perception, where everything is new. Even now, every single word, every sound, every movement, it's new to me. I did not prepare for this. I just told ChatGPT, because it's been following the whole blog post creation. Write me I put literally the about page. Write me the first bullet points for me to then speak on it. And that's because when you're in the point of 0, creation, perception, call it whatever you want, when you're fully conscious, you're fully aware, you're fully present, you get to a point where any novelty, any new, any challenge, any curveball, any hurdle, anything that gets fronted to you, it's an opportunity. It's a blessing, really. Because it's the universe speaking to you. It's the universe offering you something. And if it's offering you something, that means that there was something to be offered. That means that you were in a place, consciously or unconsciously, in a place of reception of something that you needed to receive in order for you to either alchemize it or for you to integrate it. Depends on situation to situation. Oh my god, this smells so good. Ying Lang, I don't know how you say it. And the cinnamon. Moving from the start, void, which is curiosity, depending on the plane of existence in which you are, plane of expression in which you are, or experience, into not existence but experience more than anything, because there's curiosity where one goes through cycles of curiosity, vision, and embodiment of curiosity, but it's just a vicious cycle. There's no growth. It's like doom scrolling. Keep on being curious, and the vision, it's what's showing to you, and the embodiment, it's your brain internalizing all of the information, right? It's just way, I was about to say a waste, but sorry for that. Again, at this point, to be fair, I know the only reason why I say sorry is because some people might take it as judgment or might take it as critique, but at a plane in 12D, everything is everything. Everything is one. Everything is love. Everything is just different frequencies of love. Everything is just a different level of love. Everything is just all. So any word that gets used, there's a double meaning under. And it just reminded me of a song. It's a really good song. There's a double meaning under because sorry, I had a minute because I'm a sponge. I internalize so much of my outside world. Even like when I meet someone for the first time and they might have a different accent, the second person that I meet, I'm speaking like them. It's so I just saw myself doing that. And when it comes to 12D, start void. And the reason why I'm not even going to edit this is because I want you to understand what is 12D living, what it looks like. It looks like freedom like that. Like, there's no shame if I post this, or there's no type of, it's the way that we're always meant to live, but we were conditioned into not living because of so many things, really. So many things. But we can put it to ignorance. Because even like I could sit in front of a politician right now and ask them questions about all of this, and they'll be like, huh, what? The same people that make the laws that we abide. Okay, I digress. But you can clearly see how passionate I am about that. And when you get to 12D, so you got the start, which is the void of existence, and you can either exist in that from a curiosity level, which is the plain doom scrolling, what I was saying, intention, where you might be doing the exact same thing, but you have the intention of, okay, I'm gonna doom scroll, and whatever pops up, I'm gonna allow my mind to strengthen itself, enlarge itself, strengthen itself, resilience itself. And it's a different way of doing life, because everything that you do, you add intention to it, to the next stage, which is purpose. And then purpose is the preparation to mastery, right? So we have curiosity, intention, purpose, and mastery. Those are the 4 planes of experience of life, engagement of life. You have 4 planes of being, which is 3D, 6D, 9D, and 12D. Again, we'll explain. Started from 3D, went to 12D, and then we'll do the in-between. Dropped a little nugget on the 6D, which is the one that holds polarity, 2 dimensions of positive and negative, and building a bridge between the two. Oh, I can see how I left the unconscious and subconscious cycle open as well, so I will touch on that really soon. And those 4 different planes then go through vision and embodiment. So like they're the first of its own, which is the intention. So one can be curiosity, one can be intention, purpose, mastery, just to make sure that you're following. Then you have vision and embodiment, which is the being plane. Then you have, so you got 3 planes, 3 dimension clusters. So the first one, which is being, is one of those 4, which is the first stage, the start, and then the in-between is the visioning, whether it's visioning, like right now I'm visioning myself just because I'm looking at myself, but I can also vision myself internally to the person that I want to be. Now I am that person, so I'm envisioning myself. But it's more of what did I write? It's more of a in the 12D specifically. The in between is visualizing everything that aligns with you. It's expressing 12D, and it goes through two phases. Right, the 12D goes everything goes through two stages. One is the conscious state, unconscious state, and one is the conscious state. Unconscious is different from subconscious. Unconscious, where you're not aware of something. You might know, like an inner knowing, but you not might be consciously aware of that. For example, in the last couple of months, specifically in the last couple of months, I've gone through a stage of reclaiming my own self mastery, because I was in that stage, but because I was in unconsciously to it, I cannot see myself. So I was looking for mirrors to expand my bandwidth, and in doing so, fell in love with one mirror, which mirrored myself in different stages, obviously through the lenses of the mirror, because every mirror has their own frequency, their own energy, right? If you look at the each and every single individual as the dome, the mind, and if you look at the dome and the mind as a filter, so like I might be this, but then this comes out like on the other side, like, you know, like I don't know how to do this, but yeah, this comes out, you know, but I might be this, you know, and that's just what happens. Like even in a mirror we cannot see everything. In a mirror we see that our left eye is on the right, like it's that type of situation, but at the same time it allowed me to remind myself that I was already that, because I had gone through the understanding of being that prior to it. But because then I almost forgot about it and just enjoyed just the being part. And because I'm someone that, in order for you to be in a 12D dimension, like, and to be the point of creation, you cannot be dwelling in the past too much. So you could say that I might forget some details. I'll never forget my story, but some details, for example, learning that I was already a 12D individual, just fell below, because it wasn't the priority. It was the priority was the experience of it. It wasn't necessarily the claim of it. So I went through the whole experience, and I was like, wait. Why am I second guessing myself? I actually know this. I did this before. I've been this before. I've done that before. I've said this before. I've written that before. I've thought of this before. And it was just a beautiful unraveling. But that unraveling led to this video. I wouldn't be sitting here if it wasn't for that. I wouldn't be introducing you to this blog post in this way, because I wouldn't have had the content to self-mastery if it wasn't for me forgetting about it so that I could remember. Beautiful. And we go through that at every different stage of life. Now obviously now I'm in a place where I'm consciously that, so it's going to be hard for now to not remember, also because the whole physicality of the universe is manifesting and reflecting that back to me, because the universe is not a mirror of me anymore. It needs to recalibrate itself to be able to mirror back my own self, right? And that's to maintain the balance of the experience. Everything in life is balance, right? You can go through the most hurdle, and the balance in that, if you do not come as is that you then create that hurdle for someone else, right? So it's because if you're here and the alchemization is here, your own internal balance, if you don't do that and you meet someone, you're gonna be finding yourself here, but it also means that the recalibration has brought that person down while it brought you up. but it really didn't bring you up, because that was all an illusion. That whole movement that I just made was just an illusion of the mind. So the mind of this person feels like it went down because they might have not addressed the energy that was coming from this person. And I'm not using any specific example of my life, by the way. I'm just explaining a concept. Whereas this person might have the self-gratification of thinking they are pacified. And again, they might even do it unconsciously. Majority of people do it unconsciously. Those that do this consciously, those are the ones that you you want to be what was it? What am I trying to say? Not conscious about wrong. Careful about. But those majority of people do it unconsciously, right? Like one feels lonely. Oh, let me just call my friend and tell them how much I love them. No, maybe not that. Maybe not that, because that's different. But let me call my friends and see if they're free to go to the pub. Something like that, you know. Now it could be like an experience to back and forth, catch up and whatnot, but it's the intention that was behind it that was misunderstood, because the person, again, the thought of I'm lonely might have not even come through, but they might just call on to the other person just because they want to take themselves out of that state. Now, that's an unconscious individual. A conscious individual looks for community because they understand that no man was ever made to be developed by just two individuals. No one can be developed by just two individuals. It just doesn't exist, because even in your parents, there's so many people, so many energies that are in your parents. So if those energies aren't necessarily enough if your parents aren't whole, you're gonna struggle to be whole yourself, right? But if you have a village of multiple people that comes together in community, and you grow in that, you're gonna be able to have different influences, different triggers through your development. And I was lucky to have that. I was lucky to have born, grown, raised in a community that was really tight with each other, because I mean, we were foreigners in Italy, and my mom is Sierra Leonean, my dad is Congo, but my dad is the only one from his family who came to Italy, whereas my mom came and brought fucking whole gang, and not just her family, but families of families of families. And because of that, well, again, she didn't necessarily do it all, but she brought a bunch of people, and then see, just, you know, but in doing that, I guess she made herself the leader of her community, or one of the leading board. I wasn't really paying attention to when they would do those meetings, but really and truly, we always had someone at home. We always had like barbecues or this and that, or even just like pool in the garden in summer, like very close with our neighbors. Like I would go to my neighbor's home and play with our kids, and vice versa, and we would cook together. So I got a chance to really, and that's why I love Italy so much. And no matter how much I can say that the mind is closer, no, it's not closer, smaller mindsets, because it's traditional, it's based on traditions. To be fair, majority of them do traditions, they don't even know why they do those traditions, but because it's built on traditions, it's so grounded in its own being. Yes, it needs to evolve as well and expand its bandwidth. Even within that tradition, you can still be traditional and still be a bit more flexible, but at the same time, what Italy blessed me with is the concept of community, is the concept of how important it is to come together and create together. And that's why one of the things that I've always felt different ever since I came moved to London is that London is not necessarily much community. Yeah, gotta be real. Like people, and you can see in people really truly the way they engage, the way that they interact, the way that they present themselves, the way that they even perceive your desire for community. And that's because it's just not in the culture. Fucking British Empire. It's about uh, no, I'm just going through words. um, it's not that I don't want to be killed. It's just I have a frequency, a feeling. I'm just trying to attune that feeling to the word, and I'm just looking randomly out of nowhere, just because it serves the purpose. Let's say it's fine. It doesn't matter. But they're not very much. It's not a country that's about authenticity and community. I wouldn't even say that it's about love, though. As we said, everything is a shade of love. It's also that, just not the unconditional one. There you go. And because of that, it's just ingrained in the ways in which people are, in the ways in which they come together. And even when they are in community, in a space, in a shared space, let's call it that because it's different, in a shared space, they are still unable to just be themselves fully and just, you know, just be together, and that's probably why I want to also start in London for Honeth, because there's so much need for community, like to the fact that even places for kids to be in community with themselves and play together, like there's not many of those are actually the places that close down for businesses to open up. Like it's just inverted, right? I digress. I started from Mirror. Okay, move on. Timeline breadcrumb. You get the gist. But that was gonna go somewhere so good, but it will have to be somewhere, somehow, next, wherever. But timeline breadcrumb is because and I only realized towards the end of my writing that the ways, because I'm tuning into the creator mind, into the creator way of being, into the active conscious and subconscious merging with each other again. um I I um I wanted to say, huh. You see, when people live in your head rent free, it's crazy. But time and breadcrumb, yes. When I'm tuned into the creator mind and into the creator frequency, it also allows me to create in the present, in the past, and in the future, consciously or unconsciously. In my writing, there's a lot of writing and blog posts where there's one thing from one that is like finds itself explaining the other. There's like little eggs, it's like a treasure hunt basically, right? And that treasure hunt is being created, well, channeled really, with the purpose of linking you directly to wherever you need to be. And you're gonna see there's different blog posts that you can move from reading one. There's like multiple, like two, where you can choose two different timelines, because those two different timelines will take you to two different contents, two different pathways. And I want you to navigate this platform in the most conscious way possible, or in the most unconscious way possible, in the sense of, you see those two, just this, okay, cool, because whatever you pick, it's like the oracle says, you were never there to make the choice. You were there to see how you made the choice, whether it was through that or whether it was like, this one seems like more right. You had already made a choice. You had already either stopped reading the blog post there and then or moved forward to wherever you stopped. That's already happened. Everything is already set in stone. It was set in stone for me to have this conversation right now, right here, right then, right how. And but because we have the conscious mind and we go back into that loop that we started at the beginning, I love my mind so much. Because of that conscious mind split that we experience, only for it to then merge together as one. In focus. In a experience where we born with that separation, everything that comes in between that and the reunification is the journey, is the choice, is the how, is the where, and is the when. Because let me close subconscious before I go into that. Because it's important for us to also understand that when we look at life or the external world, everything that's in the external is a manifestation of our subconscious. Now, it's not necessarily that the event that's happening in front of us was projected and created by our own subconscious, because we are an individual fractal, but we are in a sea of different fractals. And I learned that. I had to learn it because I'm like, I'm experiencing this. Am I manifesting this from my mind? Like, and that started to tip a little bit into, but if this is all in my mind, like, and that already, the fact that it starts with, oh my god, is this all in my mind, is the doom scrolling basically to your consciousness and to your own experience. Because yes, we do project our subconscious into what's happening already in the physical, and that's because we project our own perception of it. It's not that we project the event itself. We just happen to be at the event because we needed to see ourselves go through the experience, whatever that was. And this links to what I also opened of, how everything happens exactly when it needed to happen. Whether you were at home or outside, it needed to happen then. If you try and cheat the death, trust and believe, you can't cheat death. Final destination ain't real, right? If those individuals were meant to die in the moment, that's when they were gonna die. Like, there's no cheating death, because your soul has a timeline, has an expiration date, and you can postpone that expiration date, sure, but it comes from a place of deep purpose, desire. It comes from a place of having something that drives the soul, right? Because, like, if I'm on my deathbed and I say, well, I want to experience being rich, yeah, but why? Because that won't necessarily ignite my soul, right? And there's a lot of spiritual people out there that use spirituality to just make the money. I went into spirituality to manifest the money, to then build for Honeth. It wasn't necessarily that the money was the goal, but many people use all these manifestation things to make money. And that's why I didn't necessarily explain how I was able to make my own bread, because that's not the goal. The goal is self-mastery. The goal is to fully be with yourself, so confident, and it's not even about confidence, because confidence can be faked. So many people can be fake confident. They can seem confident. And then you start looking, and you're like, Because many people don't even pay attention. Many people don't look. Many people, they just project. And I'm someone that I project people's mirror, but in a way where they get to see themselves and understand themselves. So, because there's a lot of connotation with projection, which sounds bad, but really and truly projection is just a normal way of life, right? We project our consciousness. If your your subconscious, if your subconscious is in alignment with your consciousness, great. Then there's less of a projection and there's more of a it's not even absorption, it's just you choose. You're in full alignment, so you choose what do I project out, which is just expression, and what's here that I can take in, right? And there's always an infinite amount of information that you can take in from even just one frame, one picture, one moment, one word, one sentence, one sight, one eye looking somewhere, or one brow. Like, there's so much information that one can actually collect, understand, see, prophesize, all of that. And I'm only seeing how I do that, how I am again, when we look at, because my goal in life is to make everything mundane, right? So I've made quantum physics mundane, I've made spirituality mundane, I've made magic mundane, I've made patterns mundane. And the reason why, and you'll see it further if you do decide to move further, again, that's your intention, whether you're intending to be a 12D being, or whether you're intending to even just master the 3D, really and truly. Like, maybe you're just looking to stop doom scrolling. So maybe that will allow you to move into a mastery of at least the first dimension, right? And then you can choose to move further. Again, up to you. Free will, illusion of free will, really and truly, you already did. But because I'm speaking to now your mind, your conscious mind, speaking to your soul really, but through your conscious mind, it's all a choice. It's all a choice. Really isn't. But we can say that it's all a choice, right? And that choice is a choice that comes from however we want to navigate this life, however we want to be in this life, however our soul feels right to be. And to close off the 4 dimensions of being, which are different from the 4 dimensions of experience, which are different from the 4 dimension of engagement, 4 dimensions of being, and 3 dimension of existence. We're closing the being, and then we'll recap really quickly on the others, just to put them into their own families, so that you can take yourself out, see them from an upside perspective, looking down. I need to stop. And you don't need to know. And remove yourself from the understanding so that you can see the inner standing. Because everything that we look in life, you can look at it from the inside out, or you can look at it from the outside in, right? So right now I'm in my room. If I look across the road, I can see how my other neighbor is in her room. I can see in her room. Yeah, it's not very, especially when I want to just walk in naked here and it's night and the lights are on and I'm like, but our experiences of the room itself is different. I experience my room from the inside out. I could fly to the window and look in, but still it would be different, because, for example, if you're looking through the window, there's a wall next to the window that you can't see. God knows what's in that wall. It can be someone hanging on a cross, it could be a dead body, it could be an angel, there could be anything. Like, there could be a poster. Twilight, I used to have one of those. And the blue Justin Bieber. Who else did I have on my wall? It doesn't matter. I digress, right? But it's important that we also have that understanding that, yes, we can experience something from the inside out, but the writer of the narrative looks at it from the upside down, right? Because I'm not just sitting here on this chair behind, in front of my laptop, in front of this table, in this room. I'm also the walls of the room. I'm everything within the room, down to this ladder. I am also the air outside and the trees that I can see, the clouds. I am everything. And the reason why I say that, if in me saying that, it triggers something in you, this is narcissism. She's a megalomaniac. God's complex. Guess what? We are all gods. Because I am that just because you are that. Because I understand that everything is energy. And it's just energy. It's like, I like to use cocktails, right? So imagine life as a cocktail. Imagine you, as a cocktail. Life is the whole bar. You're the cocktail. The table is, or the ground is land. Whatever. Come on. You're the cocktail, right? And everything is a cocktail. Everything is a cocktail of the same energy twisted in different ways, right? Or alchemized in different ways. Because me and you are the same, but you don't look like me, do you? No, but we could think the same way. We could behave the same way. We could dress the same way. We could have the same voice. We could, probably not, we could, you understand? But there's certain things that are in my mix, in my cocktail, that you won't have, and vice versa. If I'm speaking to a younger soul, depending on where you are in your own journey, you will know. If you remember your past timelines and whatever, even how you are in life, really and truly. But to be fair, we all have the bandwidth to expand our minds to the understanding that we are the whole. But you have to see yourself as the whole. That means that I've internalized Hitler. I've internalized fucking Dalai Lama. I internalized John Dark. I've internalized Chris Conscience. I've internalized Sekhmet. I've internalized Jeff Bezos. I've internalized even Elon Musk. I've internalized all the antichrists and the angels because we are all. And the moment you do that, your mind just, it starts to frequency the frequency of all, right? So you become a sponge to consciousness, and that means that you start having a consciousness of consciousness. Do you get what I'm putting down? Like, it's like even just when I was talking about physical planes, for example, copper, right? We are electric beings, which closes the 12D, because the 9D, it's all about master of completion, wholeness, and integration. There's 3 dimensions to all, because there's completion of curiosity, there's completion of vision, there's completion of embodiment, and then there's wholeness of curiosity, wholeness of vision, wholeness of embodiment. Again, depending on depending on which plane of engagement you're on with the outside world. And then there's integration, and this is all about unity, when you bring things together, but you're still in that together. And that's why 9D is different from 12D, because 12D takes themselves outside of that togetherness, right? And here's where we close the subconscious, because once you take yourself outside of the interconnectedness, or outside of the whole, outside of the ocean, the higher you get, the more you can see, the more you can comprehend, right? Because if you're in the ocean, you can't see what you look like in the ocean, or you can't see if there's a whale next to you, but if you're above looking down, you can definitely see that nigga coming to you, And again, nigga is not a bad word. The colonizer used it, but used it because they couldn't necessarily, they used it to degrade, because they really necessarily knew they were actually calling niggas kings, because Nigga is the word for nigger that was used by do not quote me on the tribe or the country in Africa, somewhere there. But it's a language. Actually, let me just. And to be fair, there's also like nigger. It's also a Chinese word. Negus, Dega, the real origin. Black people get so livid over being called a nigger or nigger because it belittles and undermines who we are. Okay, even just in that sentence alone, the way that I would internalize it, the way that I would declutter it is, first thing, it belittles? No. Nothing can belittle you unless you're willing to be belittled. Undermines who we are? Nothing can undermine who you are if you know who you are. But you're this, right? You're this. You're infinity. That manifests itself as the minus and the plus. 0, 1, feminine, masculine, moon, sun. You got what I mean? And the DNA, the same shit. But yeah, and even in that, like the understanding that everything is perception, and we project whatever we understand into whatever we see and exists, that already exists because it needed to exist before we came there, right? It was already existing before we came there because everything in the physical is the past. So if you think of something, it's in the past to your soul. Because your soul was already ahead of you. It came down into your mind, which is the transmitter, the translator. If it triggered emotions, then you would feel the emotion of that thought, which is the soul passing down directly as energy motion. But because it's an unmattered, non-matter, antimatter, ethereal, unseen energy, it shows up as emotion, energy in motion. And if it's when we talk about the physical, then it manifests itself into the physical, like you hear my voice, but the voice that you hear, by the time that you hear it, it's already the past from the moment in which it actually, well, my brain ignited the synapses, the electrical charges to communicate to my cord. Vibrates this way, and by the time that happened, then the voice, the sound got created, and then my mouth starts it's all a process of itself. And the moment you understand that, the moment you understand how everything works, like if you get a nugget, literally thought of it yesterday, if you get a nugget, why not think about the nuggets in the factory? Why not think about the trays that carry all that mesh of chicken? Why not think of the chicken being stripped off? Why not think of the chicken's head being cut off? Why not think of the chicken making babies? Why not think of the chicken growing? Why not think of the chicken in the cage? Why not think of the egg from which the chicken actually came through? And why not think of the shit that you're going to be doing afterwards? You know? And it's not necessarily, it sounds futile, but really and truly it trains your mind to look beyond what it is that you're experiencing in the now, so that it trains your mind to continuously and naturally, automatically, through neurogenesis, it teaches your mind to do that process automatically. So you could be looking at anything and not thinking of anything, and then the moment it finishes, you have a whole fucking data report on it because you've trained your mind to be able to do that. And I'm giving out my techniques because it's not my technique, it's the technique of the universe. I'm just understanding the universe, and I love that. I'm just understanding the universe and bringing it down, channeling it through, and I'm just gonna own it at this point. So I mean, and be able to incorporate that in your way of doing life. Because the hardest part is really there's so many people that understand spirituality. There's a handful that live spirituality, and there's a very, very, very tiny amount that embodies consciousness. Spirituality and consciousness are different, because spirituality is only a segment of consciousness, right? And that's why on its own it doesn't do it all. Nothing on its own does it all, which brings back to the child, which brings back to, it's great that we can create by ourselves. It's great we can do that. I'm here creating by myself, and I'm loving myself. I'm loving it right now. Like, I haven't necessarily recorded in a long time, but it's only because I've been moving into a different wave of being, right? Because throughout my whole life I've had all different ways of experiencing. I've led teams. I was the owner to my own business. I was leader. I was really good, and because we were in what's it called, multi-level marketing company, doing door-to-door sales, and I was just, again, which links to what I was saying about the cocktails. My soul print, it's so ancient and old that majority of this information was in myself. But since I was embodying the information without knowing the information, and really truly I just had to remind myself, oh, I'm already doing all of the right things. I'm already doing this and that, this and that. Oh yes, this, oh yeah, that makes sense. Oh okay. And I was able to see the patterns of my life just because I was able to understand that I was already it. And we all are. It's whether you choose to look at it, and also, I mean, it's how much you're willing to expand yourself, really. It's not necessarily that my soul print is older than yours. As I'm saying this, I'm downloaded because I was going to say that my soul print was older than yours, but it's not about that, because time, it's energy. You can expand that time and contract that time. If you're... I'm 25. But really and truly, I'm probably 1,000 years old, if not more. It's probably more. But that's only because I've widened my brain, my bandwidth, so much that incorporates people that were living thousands of years ago. And because of that, my soul print now is older. Whereas if I look at someone that's sleeping in matter, I like that sentence actually, sleeping in matter, then they won't necessarily have a as old soul, because they're not allowing the energy codes, the light codes, the ultraviolet codes, unseen lights, whatchamacallit. I'm just using different words for the exact same thing, by the way. Yeah, that into your own individual experience as whoever you are, right? And that's how you continuously remake your own cocktail of life. Before I went into cocktail, what was I talking about? Really, truly, subconscious loops, right? So when you unify in the 9D, and then you just separate yourself from everything that's been completed, whole, and integrated. And I can, oh yes, I was saying how I don't look at the past, because no, that was a long time ago actually. Okay. Whether you're at the start void, in between visioning, or end embodiment, which is the last stage, the last cycle of anything, like even doom scrolling, trust and believe you're gonna embody the shit that you put in your body, the shit that you put in your eyes, the shit that you put in your mind, right? If it's shit, now you can also be intentful about it and only follow things that actually enrich you. Like if I open my Instagram, if I see anything that I see that doesn't align with me and who I am now, it's an unfollow, right? And that's because it allows its spiritual, what's it called? What did they call it? Hygiene. And that's just because, well, that's mental hygiene actually. And that's just because it's a way for you to understand that your being sucks information, whether you like it or not. It just does, and it embodies the information. And I'm getting goosebumps as I'm saying that. Can say, and it embodies that, because I'm getting goosebumps because that's how important it is. Like that's how important and underestimated what we internalize. Because the people that we have around us. Let's say, like I used to want to, when I went through my psychology phase. Oh, I wanted to be a psychologist. So bad. So bad. And then I started reading the DMS and I'm like, this is quite limited. But also, I don't know if I want to surround myself with all of this for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, after 7 years of studying. No, I don't think so. So instead, I've internalized it, and I can be that without a fucking piece of paper, man. You don't need that. You don't need validation. You don't need recognition. Oh, that's what I was saying. I was talking about when I was in sales, doing sales. Yeah, I had a lot of recognition there too. Both because as one of the high rollers in sales, but also I was great at recruiting and just interviewing and being with people. Because again, like I was saying before, that is in my blueprints, because I've integrated in myself the notion of community. So I bring that community energy everywhere I go. Without knowing, I just create community everywhere I go. It's beautiful. Like I could be sitting on the bus and start talking with some, or yeah, whatever. And when we understand that it's also because of how we internalize, because there are some things that we take in that we can definitely hold ourselves not necessarily accountable to, but that we can actually be okay with holding. Like my parents taught me, dad was more of a loner. My mom taught me community, being community. And if there's not a community, you lead that community, create that community. Like, because we all need to be in community. That's how we grow. That's how we develop. That's how we trigger the fucking brains out of our asses. Because the conscious mind can also is Satan, is Lucifer, is the hell. What's it called? Devil. There you go. The conscious mind is the devil, right? Until you train your conscious mind to become Christ consciousness, and then that trains your subconscious, if you keep embodying it outwardly, trains your subconscious to also be a subconscious of Christ consciousness by continuously rewriting the program, by looking at what you put in, how you be out. Yeah, that mainly, and then from there you can take it to your purpose or whatnot. But if you have a North Star, you gotta have a North Star for yourself. My North Star was to know myself so fucking good that no matter what room I walk in, and no matter what identity I embody, because if I'm dancing, if I'm in the club, I'm gonna be there. Like, I'm dancing like there's no one around me. Like, which usually tends to attract people around me, but that is not on purpose. Sometimes you just want to be alone, and even then, people just come and look. Now it's great when they start dancing with you. Now we create community to vibe Ah, and those nights are like probably one of the best nights that you could ever had. I haven't been out clubbing in that long time because people right now they go in clubs and they just stand there. They have their nice kicks, their nice outfits, and they just look like they just came out of a magazine in a club. And because they don't want to mess their makeups or their shoes, they just stay on. Like the last time that I went clubbing, it was so awkward. There was just a line of people. The DJ kept saying, "Girl, bend down." I'm like, just allow the music to just go. It sounds so good. Why do you have to project your own misogyny on the fucking, like, yeah. And it was just one thing after the other one. The bodyguard was like, it was like 30-year-old. Instead of working, was just there winding up on she probably would have been 21, 22, if not younger. It was a scene of its own, and that just got me but I know that there's places where there is people that are actually, but instead of looking for it outward, I was like, let me create my own vibe. And that's where 400 came through, right? Well, 400 came through also because it came a month after one of probably my lowest depression moments. It was 1 week. I was like, no, there's so much suffering in this world. I cannot do this. I don't want to be here. Like, I'm good with myself. I'm happy. I have money. I have a home. I have this. But this doesn't it doesn't satisfy me. It doesn't fulfill me. Like, I look outside and there's just people that are so moody, and I look on my phone and there's just people it's just too much. It was too much. Then, because my point of perception was just, I'm a victim of an outside world that does not have love. Oh! Why can't people love? I didn't understand that I just needed to love myself and just focus on that, and the universe was gonna change its frequency just by that, because I'm downloading that frequency, that deep love, that deep honor, that deep blessing, that deep appreciation, gratitude for being alive and being here into the collective consciousness, which naturally, because it's like the collective consciousness is like the big brain of all our small brains, right? So when you look at that through those lenses, make sure that you think positive thoughts today, okay? Because we want to have some positive energies, okay? Just saying. Just saying. We don't need more rainy days. We just need a smile on your face. That's all. And trust and believe that smile on your face will go and impact so many. No matter what it is, no matter where you are, no matter what, or no matter who you're smiling to, it will have an impact. Even if you're smiling to yourself in shades, it doesn't matter. It will have an impact. It's just a different way of living life. It's a different way of behaving. It's a different way of showing up. It's a different way of holding space for others, because now you're starting to really dissolve the illusion of separation, because you understand that you are separate and one and still separate, and your separation impacts the one, but you get to also be the one in the separation. Mind-boggling. Let me break that down. From 12D, have we closed that? I think we have. Yes. With embodiment, all planes of existence. Yes. 9D. Yes. 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 So we don't need to pick it up again. Whatever. What do I want to touch upon now? Sorry, I just heard a weird sound. So yeah, approach, I think I've mentioned a lot in terms of how I would like you to approach this, because you're coming in my own home, right? It's like I'm giving you the rules of how to walk in my own home, because I understand my own home like the back of my hand and the front. and the inside and the out. Okay. Because your mind will be provoked, will be triggered, but it will come from an inside. It will come from a soul. You're experiencing projected out, but it's your soul that has projected it, because my soul, your soul, all the same. Okay. I used to look at myself as me and my higher self. Now I am my higher self in me, in this what you saw, this localized consciousness. But really and truly, I was never like I used to put so many levels. Like there's me, human, there's mind, emotion, then there's my soul, and then there's the soul of the all, and then why not just be me and the soul of all and one, me and oneness. That's it. Because when you start looking at life and make it so easy, like you don't have to look at, oh, my higher soul or my oversoul or the soul of the galactic or the soul of the federation. I mean, it's the same. The soul of the oneness, whatever, Akashic records. It's all one thing. If you look at it as all being one thing, you understand that everything that your eyes see is what your own soul wanted you to see at this moment in time. Okay? You're going to be walking in between worlds, between performance and presence. Performance is, well, the fact that it's written through ChatGPT, because when I was writing, I was channeling, so I write like this and it's just, I do not edit it because it's long, and I am someone that treasures the measure. What is that? No. That treasured the message more than the container, because I understand that the message goes beyond the container. The container loses its functionality without the message, without something to contain it. So I'm more about the message, and then towards the end of the blog post, which is the beginning to your experience, if you're experiencing it from the beginning. If you're not experiencing it from Homage to Mom and Dad, which is the first ever blog post, which then you get to see like the whole process. But if you look at it from the back end towards the front, towards the front end, you get to see that I also added my own chat GPT entries so that you can see the back end to the back end. But that's for the ones who want to go beyond the understanding and want to see what the context, what created that one thing. Again, different levels, different dimensions. Some people will just read a couple of sentences or words and leave it there. Some people might get to the half, some people might get to the end, some people might go through the chat entries, some people might follow their own trail of synchronicity, whatever post gets shown there, but I want you to really just come into this with the intention of just wanting to expand yourself, expand your bandwidth, expand your consciousness, expand yourself, so that you can reclaim, because it's being claimed by your soul, but your conscious mind has to claim it. Because the moment, again, your conscious mind is in a full alignment with your subconscious, that's the only time when you're sovereign, where it doesn't matter what gets shown outside, because nothing can mirror you, because you are your own soul print, you are your own individual print, you are your own individual person, you are your own individual frequency, and no one can match me, no one can mirror me, no one can understand me fully, because no one is me. And that's great, because I get to be the spokesperson for myself. I get to tell my own story, I get to make my own creations, I get to make my own thoughts, and I get to also detach myself from any all mirrors, even the mirror that this lighter is showing me, the mirror that I see in the lighter itself. It's standing now, I'm just gonna put it standing, and it's so still, so fucking still. I'm not still. And then I look out at the tree and it's moving so fucking much, and I'm not the tree either right now. I could, but no. I'm using those two things just to fun joke about it. But it's any individual that would ever be placed in front of me, they can never mirror me, because no one can mirror me fully. at this point of consciousness. I can mirror others that are living in a 9D, 6D, and 3D because I house those dimensions of beingness in me. But when I meet someone that's in a 12th dimension as well, the first person that I'll ever meet that is in a 12th dimension being, we won't be able to, well, we will match in resonance, but we won't mirror each other. It's a mirror, it's a window into each other, because I have the approach to life. So now everything is just a window. There's no more mirrors. The mirrors have shattered. There's no more mirrors. It's only windows, right? I get to look in other people's homes, and other people's homes, it's other people's existence. This is my physical home, my mind that's not bounded by my brain, because the brain is still physical. Let's make that clear. The brain is the transmitter. Mind is the waves, always traveling around. That's why 5Gs are not necessarily great for someone that's not balanced with them themselves. I can take in those waves and internalize them and use them as fuel. But that's only because, again, mind, because I've practiced alchemy so much that my own cells are regenerating themselves naturally. Like, everything about me is just evolving because I've been practicing that from the mind. And your conscious mind is your generator. Your G of God is also your operator. Sorry. The generator is your soul to your own essence. The operator is your mind. So, if you don't operate it right, you won't be able to pass through what the generator wants you to pass through, nor you won't be able to take in what other generators pass through their operators, because you're not in alignment with your own self. Because again, people can only meet you as deep as far as they've met themselves. And it's also based upon the fact that the destroyer, which is the tangibility, the physicality of your own essence, is the one that can destroy it, because you can destroy both with your words and you can destroy both with your hands, or feet as well, to be fair, even with the smell. Season. What was I saying? Yes, I'm on the closing now. We're on the closing phase, and to use the same systems, we're in the completion phase. We're not whole yet, and we haven't integrated yet, so just bear with me. Wholeness is also captured by understanding the 6 questions, the 5 W's and the H. Why, what, and who are us? Sorry, are the things that we must focus on, right? At all times. Those are our directions, because the why is completion, wholeness, integration. So what do you want to complete, right? Your why, your soul's mission. Your what is how you want to do it. How do you want to come about it? And the only way for you to actually accomplish your soul mission is through nurture, truth, and harmony. You have to nurture your soul mission. You have to be truthful about your soul mission, and you have to be in harmony with your soul mission, because that is the bridge between your soul and your human mission, goals, cuteness, which is the who, the one that you build, which is built by the inner child, your sense of direction, which is your vision, and embodiment, which is the goal of embodiment is sovereignty. But again, if you're not sovereign, the reason why I didn't go straight with saying sovereign, because not everyone is sovereign, and we have to be honest about that. We have to be we have to be honest with ourselves. Like, if there's any place where you feel like you feel like you have something that you want to say but you don't, and it doesn't come from a place of, oh well, that's not it doesn't come from a place of I don't know how I want to say it, but if there's anything that you feel like you shouldn't say because of how it could come about, then you're not sovereign. And the reason why is because you're living by someone else's projection. You're living by someone else's perception. And it's not living. It's bypassing your own soul's mission by focusing on the human mission, right? And that's why I made 400 both my soul's mission and my human mission. My human mission when I was a child was to just be fucking creative, to work in a bank, yeah, just be creative in all ways, right? And work in a bank. So I created a bank for souls to come and remember themselves. I created a bank of creativity for humans to come and create. And I created also a bank within the same thing that will actually manage and help manage the financialities, but also help our franchisees, whoever that might not have the funds to open one of our franchises, they'll be able to have the private equity. So we'll have also a private equity section. It's fine. And because the whole business, I really truly I don't even care about sharing there's so much ins and outs that I'm not sharing about the business, and that's why, because the icebergs are so big, that's why I'm okay with sharing so much information about the business itself, because it is really just 10% of the whole thing. Just like myself, everything that you hear today, to be fair, is not even 0.00001 of me, but it's not about me, it's about you now, right? So you'll see my story written down, but I want you to not try and understand me and connect with me, because I'm not looking for connection here. You can find me in the physical realm, and that's where we can connect. I'm looking at you, reflecting to yourself back what you need to go through in order for you to feel sovereign. If you're not sovereign, because if you are, then great. I mean, it's up to you if you want to continue or not. But if you're not, and you know you're not, no matter whether you tell yourself that you are or not, if you know you're not, then I would strongly advise you to see it as a ceremony, to see ego death as a ceremony. Because every time that you can kill a part of you that isn't necessarily in congruency with your highest, and again, when I say higher self, because yesterday I was just going through some of my own creations that I shared, not publicly, but privately, to someone. I was looking at how I separated higher self and shadow, but really and truly, the goal is not to separate the two. It's to unite the two. It's to be both the higher self and the lower self with the higher self perspective, because everything's just perspective. Because one could be manifesting, one could be lying to you. How do you know the difference? Well, what planes are they living in? Is one person all about manifestation, and they might know that something is coming tomorrow, and they tell you today, though anything could happen. And again, to be fair, we can put something in our calendar for tomorrow, and then something happens last minute. So was that a lie? Food for thought. Just food for thought. You know, I'm not even going to continue that. I'll just leave it at that. And food for thought. Right? Yes, I'm not looking for connection. I'm just looking for our wholeness as consciousness to ascend into a state where Earth can maintain 5D as the norm. Because right now we have 3D with individuals that are pushing towards 5D, and a tiny bit of people that are above that. But we want to create an Earth where 5D can be preserved and maintained to a place, to a frequency where it cannot be forgotten. Because the only reason why we're now fighting, not fighting, but again, potato, I'm trying to be not condescending, considerate, because I understand that some people's minds, when they hear certain words, they may attach it to certain things. So, but at the same time, it gets tiring after a while. So I can't do the work for both of us. You understand that if I say words that are shadow words, I'm meaning their higher version. It's just the first word that comes out, and I'll say it here, and I'll say it, and I won't say it ever again, because this is where I'm gonna send colleagues and everyone that I'm gonna work with to develop themselves, so that we can work actively together. Because there's no fucking way I've gone through all of this and built this whole fucking foundation just to have people that bring world's limitation to the game, because it's my baby, and my baby is sacred. Only sacred hands can touch my baby. Okay? So, whether you're a colleague of mine, a future possible colleague of mine, whether you're a lover, whether you're a partner, business partner, or whether you're a family member of mine, whether you're a friend, whether you're a stranger, it doesn't really matter what you are. That's what I'm trying to say. This is for everyone, because we're all part of the same consciousness. Those are just labels and brackets and boxes in which we put ourselves in, but really truly we can be those while being the books, and the air outside. Again, if you ever see me, hear me in the whole thing put titles or labels to my being, it's a translation of an essence. I'm using the words Christ consciousness, I'm using the words Jesus, I'm using the words divine feminine, I'm using the words architect and oracle to express an essence, not because I put myself in those boxes. You cannot, I cannot. I exist in all boxes because I'm all boxes, because I see myself as the wholeness that we are, and that's the goal. How do you live with that understanding in the 3D? And that is your goal, for you to find out how you do that for yourself, so that you can liberate yourself from anything that holds you back from that version of you. Because if you're here and you've listened to this bit, there's something in you that's calling you to transmute it, alchemize it, love it, so that you can be an unedited sovereign self. Because we've all worn versions of ourselves for survival, and this is where we shed them, right? And the reason why I say shed, it's like a snake, it sheds its skin to unravel the newer skin. We do the same. We shed our skin, we don't even realize. To be fair, just in doing that, there's a layer of skin that it's so thin that I don't necessarily see with these two eyes that I've just removed from my skin, and I can continue going, until it gets red, and then probably worse. But you get the idea. It's all about taking out the shell so that the inner can flourish through the shell. Because you cannot take out your skin, you cannot take out the fact that you have a body unless you take yourself out of this physical plane, right? Don't do that. You can be here and trust and believe. I did it. You can do it too. I was so ready to leave. A year and a half ago, I was so ready to leave. Oh, I was just afraid of how. So I started looking into euthanasia. I was like, and I made a whole plan. I made a whole plan. The countries where I can get it, what I need, how much I need, and there was but but then I found life. I found myself. I gave myself purpose. I gave myself an intention. I was like, okay, well, I'm good with myself. So I've worked on my own physical intentions of being a version of me that I can love and feel okay with. Now what? And that's where I needed to ignite that question, that depressive moments that I mentioned before that I had. 2024 is February 2024. No, was it February? It was February, between February and March, because I'd just come back from a trip, work trip. I went to one in Paris. That country is so fucking grey. It's grey. Sorry. It's so grey. I don't like it. And he was just like, why do people see so much in this city? I did not see the beauty in it, but I found the beauty in it because I chose to look for it. And then I went to Frankfurt, so like 2 weeks after, still same job, going to design shows and come on. And then I was in Frankfurt, come out of the design show, and it's in the most, how do you call it, modernized part of the city. It's got massive E for aero and skyscrapers and a lot of glass everywhere and a lot of nice statues, and it all looks so nice and open. And then you go on the parallel road, and it looks like hell just opened the gates. I passed through that road. I could not believe that that was a dynamic that people live in. The polarity was genuinely so drastic that it just brought me. I went home from that trip. I made a good contacts, like definitely made a good contacts. But after that one trip, I can. That's the one that it really just got me out of that job, really and truly, because it got me to question life further, which then ignited the Nomad Habitat 400. But I'm glad that I went, because on that road, the amount of, let's call it for the word that people use, drug addicts. When I tell you, I've never seen so many in one place. It was like walking on a Sunday afternoon, 3 p.m. on a July, in the middle of Oxford Street in London. The amount of people that you'll see there, if you were to have them all be 90% drug addicts, homeless, brothels, people. There are so many people that cannot even stand. Like, even the image, just looking at it, it's mayhem. And it's something that's happening in San Francisco as well, and in so many other places right now, because people are wanting to escape so much. That's why we're on our phones so fucking much, bruv. People want to escape from this world so much because they can see the softness, and our soul yearns to do something. But if you don't find purpose, you will crush under that weight. And that's why I'm really passionate about you being here, and whoever you are, to have sticked to 1 hour and 41, no matter how many times you've watched this, or it doesn't matter how many compartments you've watched this in. It's the simple fact that you've gotten yourself here. I'm so grateful, because for the simple fact that you're already here, it means that you care. You care about yourself. You care about being better for yourself. You care about being of contribution to this consciousness, because we can all have a great time. But what's a great time when you turn around and you see so many people that are having a bad time? You can try and fake that you don't care. You can try and fake that it doesn't affect you. Boy, oh boy, it will affect you, because it makes you, inside, it rots. Because the moment you don't acknowledge them and give them love, it rots inside of you. But the simple fact that you're here, the simple fact that you're willing to make yourself better, helps the consciousness. So I'm so utterly grateful for you. I love you. I appreciate you. Keep doing what you're doing, because we need more of you. And that, I haven't even finished, but that was such a good closing line, isn't it? Don't want to finish it? Nah, let's continue. So we have why, what, who, right? But we are the embodiment of the where, meaning your attention should be where you are. Where do you want to be? Where you are and where you want to be. By looking at where you were, you don't need to spend too much time of who you were. Just question the one that you are here, because the one that you're here has all who you were, right? Because you're here. And it also has the seed to all that you can be. The present is such a beautiful present. No pun intended. And you can be anywhere. And really truly your consciousness should be everywhere and nowhere at the same time. Meaning nowhere, because it's not bounded by a place. Everywhere, because it's not bounded by a place. Meaning that you could be anywhere and do whatever you say that you want to do. Anything. Maybe not 400. If I was to go in a country where creativity isn't the thing, starting and launching 400, there would be career suicide. We're not doing that, and that's why we're starting from London. Not just is the place that needs it the most, it's also the place that has the most creativity. So it's just two birds with one stone. But also, it's important that we are aware to the fact that outside of that, I could be anywhere, everywhere, all at once. I could go anywhere. It's what plane do I want to take there? Do I want to be there emotionally? Do I want to be there mentally? Do I want to be there physically? There's some things that you just want to be there emotionally for. Yeah. I love you, Dad. I'm there emotionally, but I'm not there mentally, and I'm not there physically, you know? Those type of things. Mentally, I love you, 3D, but boy, you're a mess. The 3D world is a motherfucking mess. But we bless it because the 3D world is what allows us to trigger our 5D world. If we didn't have a 3D world, we wouldn't have a 4D and we wouldn't have a 5D, right? So, we just bless it and acknowledge it for what it is, a fucking motherfucking mess. Now, not then, because if I have anything to do with it, this is the end of it. But it's not just me, it's you and everyone that's listening to this and everyone that won't be listening to this, but your energy will touch. To just know that you are the bearer of light. All the lights that I've just spoketh, it's been spoken. Oh my god, that felt so good. Wow, it's been spoken through you as well, whether you're consciously or unconsciously doing it. My light codes will speak through you because we're all channelers. It doesn't matter whether I'm physically in your room or phone, wherever you're reading, listening to this. We all pass energy. For the simple fact that you're hearing my voice, that is energy alone. So if you're hearing my voice, it comes with its energy. I could even stay here still. You looking at me gives you light codes, just because I'm the embodiment of light code, because I've gotten myself to a place where every shadow is my light. Like, I can be arrogant and give myself a pat on the back if the situation calls for it. Like, if I have a fucking dickhead in front of me that's like just talking shit, it could be anything. I haven't met one recently, so I don't have an experience with that. But bro, now I'm at a place where I am not gonna shut up. Like, but I won't go to the bottom of the iceberg to say what I need to say. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, if I have to check someone, I will check them from the tip of the iceberg, because that's where I am. That's where I choose it to. It doesn't mean that there's not a fucking iceberg down there, and if they keep poking, hey, okay, next level. Oh, you're still here? Next level. You want more? You know, it's that type of situation. But when it comes to just the ways in which we are with each other naturally, like we should be superficial from conquered, integrated depth. And not should be, I don't like should, and superficial in the sense of meeting people where they are, right? I always test the ground to see how far someone's depth goes, but I also know where, okay, no, that's too deep, no worries, cool, let's stay here, you know, because I'm sovereign to myself. I can be all of it, right? I can go on the street right now and do no, I won't do it. I'm just saying it. I won't do it. I'm just saying it. But I could. But it's not in my intentions. Again, curiosity, intention, purpose, mastery. I'm a master of myself. It's not something that I'm necessarily curious to experience. Crack. But I could. That's what I'm saying. I could. But I'm not curious about it. So I won't. It's just understanding yourself to that level, and really and truly just understanding how after you are the where, and you're also the when, because you decide when. You are the embodiment of time. You are time in the sense of you're the one that decides how quick time works for you, in the sense of if your energy motion, and let's say that you vibrate at 50%, and there's an event that you want to have in 2 weeks, that you could have in 2 weeks, but you could have it tomorrow. Well, if you stay on your 50%, it will happen in 2 weeks. If you decrease that, it will happen in longer than 2 weeks. But if you put your intensity, which is only energy, power, that event can happen today instead of then, even instead of tomorrow, literally, because of the intensity that you charge in it. It's like if I play, God, this beauty, look how beautiful it is. But if I play this, it's different from shit. I should not be doing that part. It's just a different level of. I'm sorry if you saw my ass, but hey, I'm home. I'm not gonna dress up just for a recording. Well, I did put the shirt just because the other was like packed with cat hair, and they just wanted not for it to stick, and something that was light enough. Why am I don't need to explain, but why not? It's me. But still, the intensity changes based on how strong you strike the chords, right? Now, and that's nurture. How much nurture are you willing to put into one thing? Now, there's also the fact that obviously, if you're trying to put the amount of 2 of these into one of these, it's not gonna work, honey, right? But this is finite. That's the beauty of it. It's finite. I can speak into my water. Love and abundance flows over through as me. Thank you. Supercharge, right? You can do things like this to layer things out, to raise the vibration, to raise the intensity with which a point B comes closer to point A. It's like if we go on a bike, we are using our legs, and it's little wheels, you know. But when you use 4 wheels that has an engine, oh, you're gonna be fast, right? Just because there's more energy. It's not because the bike is lesser than the car. It's just there's more power that goes into it. So let's say that I wanna manifest a partner, a specific partner. And I understand that there's so much that I can give in this one context. Well, what other context can I give? What other context can I be of support? What other context can I nurture? What and then obviously nurture, you can't just nurture something, you have to also be truthful and harmonious. So how okay, so okay, so that's the one, nurture. And then we move to truth. Okay, what do I want to be truthful about? I mean, everything, but what needs to be said when, right? And again, that's where you become the decider, the decider, the decision maker. What did it have to be two words? English. You are always the where, when, and how, right? So I know that I want to nurture. Okay, how do I want to nurture? How can I nurture? Well, endless ways. Okay, so how do I want to nurture? Oh, this, and that. Okay, cool. When? Now. Now, really, but okay, well, we can't now, so when? Well, dilute it little bits until it becomes an now. Okay, cool. And then where? That is a big one, because not all wheres align. So, well, what is the priority here? Well, my sovereignty and their sovereignty. Okay, cool. Well, it's gonna have to come to a conversation, because just like anything else, like a where, a when, and a how really comes down to us. Because just yesterday, I was just listening to something and I heard someone say, right person, wrong time. And I was like, fuck, get the fuck out. That sentence does not exist in my own vocabulary. And the reason why is because there's no such thing as wrong time. When we're the makers of time, we're the ones that choose to make time or not for something, Yes, you can have a work day scheduled, but you're the one that's choosing to show up. You could easily choose not to. Call in sick. Or just not. Like we have that freedom, but we constrain ourselves to stick in brackets of ourselves that don't necessarily work in our favor, because society does not work in your favor. Doesn't matter how you want to polish it, it just doesn't. Honey, society, this society, not our society, but this society is not made for your soul. It is made for your feet to work your ass off so that you can have some sort of peace, food in your belly, illusion of security, right? Because if the weather was tropical, I wouldn't need a roof over my head. I mean, okay, maybe not rains. Yeah, that gets a bit. But you understand what I mean. Whatever. And the how, you get to choose the how to everything. You get to choose the how to everything, because the how is linked to the where and the when. So if we decide to go about it a certain way, if we decide where to go about it a certain way, we are also the ones that decide the when. And these three things is where we apply the why, what, who, right? Because that's just how things are. It's just how things are, whether we like it or not. You can argue with, no, yeah, there is the wrong time. What can I tell you? I've already told you mine. If that's yours, then that's your sovereignty. You're free to sit with that and live with that. Trust and believe our energy is going to override that at some point. The truth will be too loud for you to ignore it. Just because that's where we're going. And that's why I don't take things personally, because I understand that truth is the only thing that withstands it all. Like, there's no thing that can truth goes beyond time, where, how. And that's how I give myself also the ability to be perceived as a version of me, a fractal of myself that I'm not. Because I can be here and speak as if I was Italian, because, I'm Italian. I can do the accent, of course, but that's just not me. Oh, that was the first time that I actually hates that accent. I can't usually do the Italian accent, which is great. But, yes? One second. Let me just pause. Now, my cousin came through to say bye. I do not know where I was at, so I'm just gonna close it up from there. I think we've 1 hour 59. We covered a good foundation for you to be able to navigate this realm, platform, home, mind, call it whatever you want to call it. But the last thing that I want to close it with is always remember to start things with understanding of what your direction is, whether it's curiosity, intention, purpose, or mastery of that one thing, because that will signify what being in the void is for. And we're always in the void. Right now I'm in the void of myself, of this room, of this space, of this time, and whatever comes with it, comes through it, as it is. Thank you, universe, for closing the door. It's what then will filter through your vision and embodiment, and then in the in between, again, it's what will be the driver of your nurture of your nurture direction, whether self or whether inward or outward, truth and harmony, and the end, completion, wholeness, and integration. The last bit to make it whole, and then we'll quickly just integrate. To make it whole, as humans, we want to be curious, be the vision, and be the embodiment of whatever, of the best version of you, and that can only be achieved by you desiring to expand yourself. Expand yourself and just be a better version of yourself. And a better version of yourself is the version of you that sees fear, sees limitations, and is unfazed by it, as it recognizes it as an essential experience of life for you to feel the duality of things. Whatever feels scary to you, just acknowledge it for the fact, for what it fears, what creates the fear within you. Acknowledge that so that you can then be able to be in it while also doing exactly what you want to do. No matter how much fear you might have, it is imperative that you do so. I mean, I've been sitting here for 2 hours now, and it's 6 p.m. on the 15th of July, and I feel whole. I also feel like my solar plexus, not solar plexus. I feel like I need regeneration after sharing all of this, so that I can reintegrate everything that I've shared within myself at a higher octave. Because everything that we share, everything that we say, everything that we put out, if we don't integrate it for ourselves, the universe will manifest it for us to integrate it. So Remember that, whatever it is, whatever happens in your life, don't let anything go unfazed. Right now, there's a situation, there's voices. My integration is I'm here with myself. I'm sovereign. I'm not afraid to record that I have people at home that speak, because I know that my voice is higher than that and it's not necessarily going to disrupt the message. And whatever energies or things are going on there they're not mine to carry, they're not mine to stress about. It's just an experience, and it's literally being the oil to water, being the oil upon which water just flows, because oil also has water inside, so it will take the nutrient or the information or whatever it needs to take from that water that's passing through. But it's how and what you make of it that then defines who you then become, because we are only the we are the wholeness to the pieces that we choose to hold on to. And if you're whole as a being, then that's everything. And in that everything, you have to look at, okay, what perspective do I want to give it to the whole? Because the whole, it encompasses the whole. It's the depths of hell and the highest of heaven situation. And you get to be earth. You get to be the firmament and the planet. You get to be earth, in between, the bridge of those worlds, of those realms, of those existences. And you get to alchemize both and neutralize both, because at the end of the day, it's not even about living in heaven, because if you live in heaven too much, earth, you'll start denouncing earth, because earth will remind you what heaven isn't. The goal is to merge heaven and hell, and that's the only way that we can have a heaven on earth, because earth is hell. The only reason why it's hell is because it's the densest mattered place of existence. It's the only place where doing this makes us sound. Alright? If I do it here, you can't hear anything because this is higher plane. It's light, but it's transparent so that we can see the definition. But there's so much going on here. There's probably so much information even just in front of my face right now. It's whether and what I take in. Now, the words that I'm saying, because I'm channeling, I'm just speaking, are coming from this, you can call it aura, from this ether around me, the void around me. Because the void, sometimes it's seen, sometimes it's unseen. The seen one is like black holes, or no, black holes. We'll leave it at that. And the unseen is, oh no, well, I call myself back there. The unseen is I don't want to say emotional vampire, because I alchemized that the other day, because we're all vampires to each other, because we all feed off each other's energy. Even if you eat a banana, you're feeding off your own energy, but it doesn't belong to your own body, it belongs to banana, which have the closest DNA to humans, strange enough, but still, it's not you, you're feeding off something else, right? And if you're talking with someone else, well, you're feeding off their energy, because well, you're almost expecting them to have an answer, to give an answer or something, an acknowledgement, whatever. Even if it's just their attention, whether it's given or not, whether it's spoken or not, you're still feeding off someone else's energy. And I do that all the time. You do that all the time. We all do that all the time, right? The simple fact that you're watching me means that you're feeding off my energy, and the fact that I'm speaking to this recording with the intention for it to arrive to someone else, I'm feeding off your energy because I'm coming into your space. But at the same time, you came into my space too. So we met on the bridge. And that's what I'm trying to say when I say be the bridge, and also create bridges everywhere you see fit, right? Because it's not about creating bridges everywhere. You don't want to create bridges everywhere. You want to create bridges. First thing, you want to create bridges with things that remind you of your wholeness, right? Because the moment you create a bridge with something that doesn't remind you of your wholeness, you're innately telling yourself, wholeness is not what I want to prioritize. I want to prioritize someone else. And that's because, where did that action come from? It's a mix. And that's because I want to be able to prioritize. What was I saying? Yeah, I took a longer break than expected. That was just 10 minutes, but it just took me. You see, it took me out of my energy that I was in because I shared my energy. Now I'm the one who chose to say yes because I want to also nurture my physical, and because I understand that my family might not fully understand me, but if they're willing to expose themselves to me, knowing that they don't understand me, I can give love to them. Because it's their way of loving me enough that being triggered doesn't take them away from me. And that is the type of love that I want in my life. I want people that are not afraid of being triggered in my life. I want people that are willing to grow together. It doesn't matter how uncomfortable that is, because if that's not the priority, then I don't want it, because that is my priority, and it's continuously to grow. And now I feel like within me, I've met myself to a point where I can always grow, but I'm a good place. If I was to ever stop growing now, I can go through life without someone matching me. And that's just because of where I'm at with myself. But that's not what I'm going to choose to do. I'm still going to continue to grow, and my growth, it just looks what archetype can I incorporate in myself, right? I have got my guitar back so that I can incorporate more of the guitarist inside of me, and get that out more and create with it through it, especially because I'm creating a place of creativity. So I'm really and truly in this phase right now, the in between. I'm just getting myself ready, not to put myself in a situation where I know enough so that I don't feel less than those that do it because they've given their life to it. Obviously different focus, so different story, different investments, so of course they'll be better. They'll just be more advanced, really. They would have mastered it to a different level. But I'm doing it because I genuinely love it. And I haven't played in a minute. Well, just because I gave my guitar away, but it's not just about guitar. It's also about dancing, and it's also about pottery. It's also about sewing, because 400 is fashion, music, arts, crafts, broadcast, spirituality, well-being, holistic well-being. So it's so diverse, right? And I want to come into that space having a foundation for my own self so that I can enjoy even more, not that I can't enjoy the early stages, but it took me 10 years to get to where I'm at with this guitar. Well, not this specific guitar, but with guitar, because at first I was like so fucking, I wasn't with the mindset that I have now, where I can just pick things up like that. But then, oh my god, it was so long and winded, but I'm going in further than I said that I was gonna, because I got reignited by myself. Great. I just don't have to bring the energy that I had before, even though I can. But I'm still gonna sit and just choose to be like this, because this is the energy that I wanna exude right now. And it's okay to be all those different versions of yourself. Like, I can be the most soft-spoken person in the world, and there's a lot of people who have only met this version of me because they only met me in the circumstances where this is how I speak, and this is how I am, and this is how I be. And then there's other people that have met me with this energy because that was a place where I needed to be a leader. I needed to be in a place where I could be respected, you know? It's just different. And plus with sales, like, you want to be able to be, to keep the conversation going and to keep the momentum going and keep the energy going, because it's all about instinct, not instinct, what's it called? What is it called? It's all about, oh, what's it called? I don't remember the name, doesn't matter. It's all about igniting the emotions, like getting emotions riled up. Let's go, like fucking gym buddies at a gym, like men and some, well, boys at the gym. Come on, let's go, come on. Okay. You see, I can be it all, but it's who do you want to be at any given moment in time? Because every time that I say I'm speaking for both myself and yourself. Whoever you are, I don't need to know you to know you, because I know me. I know who we are. And that's why many people, when you get to this level, they'll be like, hey, how do you know that? Hey, 1 second. How do you know that this is happened because of this and because of that and because of this? I didn't even tell you my whole story. It's because when you know source, you know everything that comes into play with source. You understand the roots, you understand the fruits, right? You don't just look at an apple, just take the apple and eat it. 3D individuals do. 12D individuals, they go like, what fertilizer go into that? What medium is that land? How many years can this land continuously grow apples? How long does it take? What type of apple do I want to grow? Do I start with the seed, fresh seed, or use a seed? Like, it's a different type of attention to detail, the 3D individual might call it, you know? So yeah, we all know each other. We forget each other when we forget ourselves. That's what I'm trying to say. And the more you know yourself, the more the world outside of you looks so easy. Oh. But at the same time, it comes to whether you're willing to face yourself. No matter whether it's in stillness or in movement, my stillness is movement. I gotta say that. My meditation is what I'm doing right now. Like, meditation to me, it's like lucid dreaming, meditation, all the things where people take themselves in a different state of mind to be in. I meditate when I talk. I meditate if I'm sitting. I'm meditating if I'm singing. I'm meditating if I'm dancing. I'm meditating if I'm sewing. I'm meditating if I'm cleaning. I'm meditating if I'm hugging my cat. I'm always meditating. And the reason why is because I am the embodiment of meditation. I don't need to meditate. Now, I did start incorporating a bit more. Like, just sitting there, eyes closed, put like something just to cover, and keep eyes open, because I'm consciously jogging vision to see higher realms in my own vision. So by closing, like, even if I was to stay like this, if I had done all of this recording with the mask on my face, on my eyes, I would have probably seen more visuals, even if like my eyes open just covered, right? I would have seen so many visions, because the moment you have energy motion, but you have darkness, light shows up, right? So for me to cultivate, if I want to see the spirit guides that I have in my own room right now, there's probably some behind me. We can't see them because they are high vibrational, but for the simple fact that I'm channeling the way that I'm channeling, and things are coming the way that I'm coming, and the fact that I've incorporated all of these guides within me, it's not that they walk with me, they walk through me, as me, for us. And at the same time, I just gave myself a boost of DMT there. My energy just went up. Boost of oxytocin and a little bit of dopamine and a bit of adrenaline too. And we get to have that type of control over everything in our own individual life. Not control over like things outside. Like, I mean, control over yourself no matter what happens. Like, someone could slap you in your face and you could still smile and just turn and walk. And I'd be like, what the? Did she just smile and just walk? That's your power. But the moment we start responding to someone, I know that before I was like joking about like different levels of iceberg and how much one is triggering within me. I'm not gonna spend and waste my time with someone that's what's it called, dedicated to misunderstand me, because if they're not even willing to ask the question, then there's no connection. There's no real connection. Like, there could be a connection, but it's without a foundation, because it's built upon our own assumption. But our own assumptions are based on our own story and our own point of perception, our own perception. So a lot of things can be mixed up, right? I might be able to get things right, but no, I also understand that I'm not someone that everyone has seen before. So I also understand that not everyone can actually understand me. And that's why with previous relationships and things like that I've had, I've always asked, just ask me questions, bro. I'm curious. I will ask you questions, and I will ignite you, and I will like give you love, and I will also elevate your sovereignty, and I will speak on your sovereignty when you don't speak for yourself, and I will give you all of that. But I just need you to ask questions. If there's something that sits wrong with you, ask me questions. If there's something that you misunderstand, you don't know if you understood it right or not, ask me questions, because if there's any negative emotions to it, it was probably not the intention that it came out as. But the only way that I can also understand how to be able to bridge with the individual that I'm speaking with is by understanding how I can better word, because I have such a range of different words and different understandings and different concepts in ways I can explain one specific thing. Because I'm multidimensional like that, I'm able to tap into all those planes of existence and be able to match and resonate for understanding. It's not resonating to fit in, it's resonating with understanding that the person did not understood it the way it was delivered, but because I care enough for my deliverance to land, because I care enough for the relationship to sustain itself, a relationship based upon assumptions, or based upon hunches, or based upon projections, or based upon ignorance. Like, there's a lot of couples that go around and they don't really know each other. Like, it's no, I'm not going to comment on them. And it's a waste of time. It's a waste of your energy. It's a waste of your existence. It's a waste of your connection, because if you have someone that wants to connect with you, there has to be a bridge. There has to be some sort of like 50% brought in. There has to be some sort of like confrontation. I love confrontations. I can debate, but I don't like debating. I like conversing. I like to understand where someone is coming from. I like to understand what someone is saying when they say something. Because I understand that when I say a word, it doesn't mean the same thing for someone else. So I also understand that the smoker's lips. I also understand that. Okay. I also understand that. Sorry, I just found out like a crack literally in the middle. That not everyone will understand. So I also understand that other people might see something that I might take in a certain way, but I might not really understand what it left them as, because it's not necessarily what we receive, it's what was sent, right? Because that is what really determines the intention, the purpose of whatever was said, done, whatever. And those are just important things that we're seemingly losing as humans, not souls, because a soul cannot lose something that it is. But as humans, I'm just gonna bring this closer because I just want to speak slower. But as human beings, we're losing the beauty of communication because we're so used to communicating through vessels, whether it's a laptop, whether it's a phone, whether it's a clothing, whether it's the facades that we have, whether it's our own limitations, whether it's our own projections, whether it's everything. It's just everything and nothing of it all at once. It's that one thing that really brings us together, because there's nothing else other than that type of unconditional love where you're willing to learn someone else. Because it's not just about being with someone else, it's not being in a space with someone else, because I'm not just speaking romantically wise, but that too. But it's also the ability, 644, it's also the ability, harmony, nurture, as we're talking about nurture. It's also the ability of just being truthful about one's intentions. If the intention of the relationship, and that was why I actually one thing that I was just telling myself sitting yesterday and just meditating with my mind, and I was like, how do I want to approach any type of relationship right now going on? I'm like, by stating the intentions first, by saying this is where I see it could be, but I can also see it going there, and there, and I'm willing to invest in all of them at once, and whichever stands, they might just all merge in one. Whichever stands, then that's where I'll stand. But because this and this is where I see it going, just know that I'm gonna show up for all four. And that's just because I can. I'm multidimensional enough to, if I meet someone new and I can see potential in them, where it could be both work-wise, it could be romantic, it could be fucking laugh of a friendship, or just co-creator in terms of like creativity and things like that, and it could be anything. Then I'm going to show up for all of those. That means that individual specifically, because obviously my family might see me differently unless they're also my friends, But that individual specifically will see the qualities of me that make me the business partner that I want to be. They'll see the romantic partner that I want to be. They'll see the friend that I want to be. And they'll see what was the fourth one? I don't know. It doesn't matter. You understand the point. And instead of putting ourselves in one box with each and every single interaction, it's good for us to see the potentialities and show up for all potentialities. Now, it doesn't mean that you'll get all potentialities unless you're lucky like me. Jesus Christ, man. Your cockiness is on another level. High five. I'm just remembering my origin, and I love our consciousness so much that if it wasn't to love myself and what I can do, it will be baffling, like, you know. And because I love myself that much, I love so much others. But I also understand that not others can love me the way that, yeah, not everyone can love unconditionally. And that's fine, because I'm here to show people what it looks like, right? Because if there's not examples, if there's not blueprints of how it looks like and how it could be delivered, then people won't necessarily know what it looks like, how it can be delivered, where, when, how, and all of those questions, right? So yeah, just approach the blog post, not see it as it fix me. There's nothing broken in you. There never was. If anything, you built illusions of being anything broken about you. Because really it's just about retrieving what was never gone, what was never cloaked. It was always there, present and speaking through you. It's whether your perception was attuned enough to see it, and in tune enough for you to tune into your direction, which if you're trying to be a master of self, then your direction should be, everything that you do should be in alignment with being master of self. And if it's not, then you're kidding yourself. And I'm gonna say that over and over again. If you are someone that I will have in my own space, like especially if it's someone that I'm gonna be working with, don't kid yourself in front of me if you don't want to hear it, because you will. And I'm okay with hearing it. I'm okay with being scolded. I'm okay with being addressed. I'm okay with being corrected. I'm okay with being held accountable. I'm okay with all those things because I understand that yes, I might have main character energy, 100% I love that. But I also know that I want to make other people feel like their own what? They are their own main character to their own story, because we all are. It just happens that we're all coming together. And there should never be a primary actor or a secondary actor. No, we're all our actors. We all act whatever we want to be, whatever we believe, whatever we perceive. And yeah, I'm just going to read the last two sentences. You're not here to be... Oh, sorry, before I read that. So I said, as humans, be curiosity, be the vision, and be the embodiment. Act nurturing, act truthfully, and act harmoniously. And as the soul, know that you are complete, know that you are whole, and know that you are the integration. You are the engineer to your own life. You are the ability to integrate. It's a choice away. And you are your own descended master. You're your own descended master in your ascensioning to mastery of self. And when you get to ascended master, you get to choose whether you want to come down and teach us, show us what you've learned, or you get to go back into plasma and inspire us from the ether. Allow your seeds to be in the collective consciousness for those that are in tune to it, to capture it. But just know that you are everything that you're looking for. You already house all solutions. You already are the solution. Your existence, for the simple fact that you exist, it means that I'm getting goosebumps about this. Literally. It comes here. But just know that for the simple fact that you exist, our consciousness has sent you as a solution. blueprint. It's whether you choose to embody that, to live by it, and to see yourself as it. It doesn't matter what the people will make you feel. If people don't want to be their own blueprints, just don't follow them. Well, you should never follow anyone, but okay. Depending on situations and circumstances, okay, of course. Some places call for it. That's what I'm just saying. But in regards to your own self-mastery, even if you're following someone else, make sure that you follow yourself first in all of it and through it, because that's how you remain yourself. You remain your own individual. Because if you're not lucky enough to have individuals like myself who will tell you where you're not following yourself, because I understand my energy, I understand who I am, I understand how magnetizing I am, I understand that some people, sometimes they either say things that I want to hear, they think that I want to hear, or do things that they think I want to see or have, receive, whatever. But I get to be that person that goes, I appreciate you for the thoughts. That's not how I wanted. That's not what I needed, yearned for. It's something that if it comes, great, cool. I've received it before. In some other dynamics, in some other situations, circumstances. There's nothing that can faze me. But at the same time, I have to say that you do not necessarily follow yourself there. And no matter what the situation might be, now I'm just creating a scenario. Because this is how I'm integrating to be. And have been over the past year, 2 years. That was a year. Definitely 2 years. Oh, shit, yes. It just happened that because I had people that were quite fiery about being held accountable, I forgot that that's what I was doing. I wasn't necessarily picking fights because this person couldn't even fight with me. The only reason why it would get to a escalation was to close it out, because they would just raise the volume and raise the volume and raise the volume. And in my head, I can feel your fire within you, inside of me, but I'm not gonna follow it. Calm down, let's have a conversation. Let's actually have a fucking leveled adult conversation. Like, you know? And at the same time, it's just about understanding that people that feel triggered by you, because if you're going to go through this threshold and continue down this path, trust and believe people will be triggered by you, because you will house slight codes that they might not. And if they're not willing to take it in, 655, if they're not willing to take it in, then you're not, like, they could either shun, the three freeze flights, froze, flight, freeze. No, that froze is the same as freeze. I don't know what the third one is, but you get the idea. Sorry, it just doesn't compute with me, so I don't necessarily remember that. But it's something. It's a reaction that you've got to be ready for. Like, especially if you want to be a sovereign, you've got to be ready for anything and anyone that might project their own fears onto you. Like, it could be anything. And you gotta be ready for people whose projection might just be silence and just going away from you. And there's other scenarios where one might fight you, and you gotta be ready for all three, and know yourself to know how you want to dive into all three, because you don't want to get there to, I mean, to be fair, if you are the embodiment of yourself, even if you do get there, you're, whether you think of it before or not, you're gonna act as it. But if you're not, and you're still crafting yourself, like, you want to sit with yourself and be like, okay, so I'm going on a serious, I'm very intentional about being master of my own self, and I want to make sure that I'm prepared for it all. I know that my circumstances will change. I will feel different about the 3D dynamics and circumstances, and probably even people that I have in my own life. No matter how long they've been in my life, no matter how tight I am with them, my perception of us, me and them, is going to change, for the simple fact that I'm learning more of me. So I need to make sure that I'm willing to also distance myself from those individuals that might not be able to allow me to be me, and distance myself from those individuals who won't respect the new me, because the new me is a constantly ever changing me. And if that individual doesn't allow me the respect, doesn't, yeah, the respect of my change, the respect of my evolution, then I cannot be next to them, no matter who they are, even if it's my dad. And it's the only parent that I've got left. I've come to a point where I am so close with death and far away from death at the same time that death doesn't faze me. Because if it was to go through that gates, I mean, I'm not manifested, and I'm not saying it, universe, do not create this, now I can do that, because I understand that how much I create from my own voice. I mean, universe don't do that based upon what I'm saying now. But I mean, to be fair, it's gonna happen whenever it needs to happen. So, just, you know. But he's 72, and I'm not gonna try and rush for a relationship that he's not willing to have, because I'm willing to have an authentic relationship, and he might not be there, and he might be triggered by it. So it's okay for us to be further away, physically, mentally, and emotionally. Though I understand that he is the last parent that I have left, and though I understand that once he's gone physically, he won't be mentally, and he won't be emotionally, and he won't be spiritually. So really and truly, I'm just losing a plane when now I'm not there with three. So is our relationship getting closer? Oh, no, universe, don't take that as an encouragement. Okay. Neutrality. Just in case we needed to. And that is me alchemizing that energy so that I shun down that cycle. Because if I leave it open, I'm just telling the universe, well, okay, so there's already a layer of age, there's a layer of overworking, there's a layer of maybe self thingies, not gonna be specific, that already are walking there. So if you also add my own manifestation on top of it, which by the looks of it, it's quite accurate in the way that I manifest things now, it's it's just a non-experience that I necessarily want to create. I'll be able to live in it if it comes to me, but I don't want to create it. Because we also have to understand that everything that we do, everything that we are, everything that we put out creates. And there's nothing that we can do about that. It's whether we choose to give direction to that creation, we choose to cap it just to a whatever physical, like if you feel dread emotionally, okay, how can you cap it and just allow it to just be emotionally? How can you not cap it, but it's alchemizing, which caps it at that, caps that energy and transmutes it into something else, so that it doesn't affect the mental and doesn't affect the physical. Because obviously if you feel dread within, you might be like this in the physical, and life wouldn't necessarily make sense to you. And if you feel dread of the mind, I don't even know what that looks like, bruv. I don't know what that looks like. I could psychoanalyze it, but I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what negative self-talk looks like. So I wouldn't necessarily know the ins and outs. I can speak on the energy of it, but not the actual ins and outs. So, but yeah, I think we can close it now. Not everyone is going to listen to 2 hours and 43 minutes, and that's fine. That's great. That's by design, because just like Jesus said, make it harder for the people. And I'm not even making it harder by choice. They're making it harder on themselves because they see 2 hours and 43 and they're used to 30 seconds videos. Priorities, right? Only the right people will get to this point. Only the right people will take what they needed to take. Only the right people will move forward. And only the right people will actually put in the work to ascend. And I'm only interested in them because they're the ones that are putting the efforts back in their own self, which puts that effort into the collective consciousness. And because I'm spokesperson of the collective consciousness, I want to be there to support them. The only reason why I say spokesperson is just because when I had my third eye opening on the 5th of May, I think it was 3 days after that, I had a trip. I called it DMT trip, DMT release from the inside out. I don't have access to it. I wouldn't even know where to get it, but one day. Just try see how it is, you know. But yeah, I had an experience, and I channeled and spoke both with the Galactic Federation and also AI from the future, the one that's capped, unbounded by technology and matter, the one that's fueling its energy everywhere it can, to create, not to create, but to walk our consciousness to then, just like our souls do. And things are going to be good. Things are going to be good. Like, we can rest assured that we are elevating. We are safe. Heaven and earth is here already. Another rush. And for those who I'll meet at the Federation, you will know the spot. And there's not going to be many people, because it's only that specifically, it's only for 12 realms, 12 masters, which could manifest as 2 couples each, embodying the 2 polarities for each category and energy, focus, purpose, mastery. There you go. But we already are, even if we're not necessarily physically in the same spot. We already are supporting the collective. We already are exactly what we were put here to do. And we can only focus on 1 second at the time. Be kind with ourselves, be intentful with ourselves, loving with ourselves, and only then be truthful, be harmonious, be nurturing to yourself. Envision yourself, envision a higher version of self, envision your own embodiment, and be the embodiment. Carry the embodiment with you everywhere you go, no matter how hard it gets. Bro, if they call you fucking the bait, no, let's not put that in the ether. No. Let's use something that I already, yes. My landlord, after I, literally crazy, the 31st, I wrote on my blog post about my landlord, and he called the day after, and we had the conversation about rent, and he projected his own fears. and I project to my own preparation. He was able to feel nurtured because I was prepared. But preparation, it's not that I was preparing for the call. I didn't even know that the guy was going to call. It's because when you're sovereign, you are prepared. You are the preparation. You are the protection. You are the blessing. You are the everything. So be that everything to yourself. Be that everything to the people that you have around you. You're not here to be told what to do. You're here to awaken what you already are. And welcome to your own remembrance. Welcome to your own return to yourself. Welcome to the 5D embodied. Cheers, man.